Hello, and a warm welcome to the Align with Arlene podcast series. My name is Arlene, and I'm joined by the wonderful Susanne Neff. And we decided on our last call that it would be really beautiful to talk about house clearing. And house clearing can mean so many different things. So we're going to dive in a moment. But first of all, to introduce Susanne, she is a horse whisperer extraordinaire, a co-founder of Anima Mundi, an author, and she also teaches children. She is very much, I would say, a green shaman or a green witch, loving plants and herbs and teaching us all about them. And she very generously is coming on today to talk about the element of keeping our houses clear. And as I said, we will go into this, but it's not just our surroundings, it's our inner houses as well. So we're going to dive in, and I will introduce you to Susanne.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. So with house clearing, I mean, obviously you've just mentioned it a little bit. It's so important for our environment, isn't it? When we spend, I don't know, maybe a third of our lives. I mean, many more people spend, if they're working from home, lots of their lives in their homes. And I've recently had a very beautiful podcast on energy and frequency. And this is very much what we were speaking about the other day, about keeping our spaces clear. So how would you suggest, what does house clearing mean to you?
Well, the thing is really like what you said, that we spend a lot of time in our houses, so we need to feel comfortable in our houses, and it has to have a good atmosphere. So, and you can definitely feel it if you go into a house and you feel like repelled, or you're like, oh, I don't really like to be there, and you almost have the urge to run out again. And so basically what we do with house clearing is that everyone feels comfortable in the house, and that it feels welcome when somebody comes in. And sometimes if there are ghosts in the house, or if there are some residue from wars or whatever, then it needs to be cleansed, because otherwise it's like, I don't want to say inhabitable, but it's not necessarily nice to live there.
You mean uninhabitable? So right, some places that we've heard of, very famous places in Hollywood, for example, people can't live there because there's too much going on. Yeah.
Yes.
So would you be able to share a personal experience if you want to?
Yeah, I had quite a lot with time. I had some. So I don't know exactly where to start, but similar. What was interesting when we talked, I realized that it's the same than with the horses. With the horses, I always thought, oh, I'm pretty good. And then a horse came that I didn't know what to do with. Like, that was really difficult. So I had to learn more. And with the house cleansing, I have the feeling it's the same way. Because basically, I started out with just smudging a little bit and it was okay, you know? But then I got to houses when I moved around that were more and more difficult. And for example, I lived in the winter, I lived close to here in a house, and I was wondering why I was attracted to this house when there is a ghost in there. And so I realized, because she was coming in and out through a mirror. And when I realized that it's the old lady that used to live there. And I talked to her, I'm like, listen, why do you keep coming? And she's like, well, I died way too soon, and I want you to tell my, I don't know who it was, niece or whatever, the one who inherited the house, to that she should maintain my herb garden, because it was very precious to her. So when she came next time, the woman who rented the house to me, or the flat to me, I said, listen, there is an old lady, and she said she died way too soon, and she wants you to take better care of her herb garden. She said, oh yeah, that was my grandmother. I inherited the house from her, and yeah, she died of cancer, and she wanted to live so much longer and do so much more in her life. And she said that, yeah, I haven't maintained her
I've been
herb
looking
garden.
after.
And I know that she loved it and she wanted it to be well maintained. So this was this experience. And then I moved here.
Did
And
you maintain the herb garden?
no, I didn't, because I didn't stay there for long. But it was just for her to know that in the future she should take better care of it.
I
And
would say perfect tenant.
yeah. So, and then I came here, and this house was even worse. It was really worse. It was really famous as the party house, and I was like, okay. I didn't know what was going on, so I just did my regular smudging every day for a year, and nothing changed. It was like everyone who came in was really tired. They came here, sat down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And that's a sign. Like, that's also something I want to talk about. Like, things, how you can recognize if there is something wrong with the house. We already started talking about it last time, because like then you feel tired. Then there are divorces in the house. Then there are fights in the house. Then people break into the house. Then people are unemployed in the house.
Because of stagnant energy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are signs if someone wants to know, like, is my house, does it need cleansing or is it okay? Like, if you feel good, then you can do the cleansing to feel better, but you don't need to do it. But if you have signs like what I just mentioned, then it's better to do something about it. There were parties, there was drug abuse, there, like, all these things were going on here, like always till late at night parties and whatever. I'm like, okay, so something's wrong. And the old owners lost part of the property and had to sell it because they didn't have any money anymore and things like that. So, and the last thing was that the old owner died of cancer.
Okay.
So if there are heavy illnesses, that's also a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay. So a lot more has to be done. And then I was sitting here with a friend, and all of a sudden the whole room went freezing. And that's a sign if ghosts are there. And also I get goosebumps all over. Or if the clocks stop working, that's also a sign. And I felt the energy of a woman who was very angry. And I thought, oh, maybe it's the old owner that she came, that she doesn't want us to be here. But this was always a house where flats were rented out. So this was not very probable. So I'm like, And the woman seems way younger, not like an old lady. So I asked around in the house. I'm like, did someone die in the house that was really young and a woman? And then I found out that above me, there was a woman who died of drug abuse and they had to take her out of the balcony.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so it's not advisable usually to go into a house where people died, because usually the people don't even realize they die. And then they hang around as ghosts because they think it's still their house. And then you have poltergeists and whatever.
Someone like you comes along to help them go to the light.
that was the thing, like, because then I really asked, why do I always get attracted to houses that are like the worst houses in the whole village, But I had really, the message I got was really that it's the house really wants some peace or wants to get rid of the whatever.
Some tender loving care, yeah.
Yeah, so we did a candle for this ghost to go to the light. So you give them a time and say, please leave till midnight, and you make a doorway out of the candle that they have the chance to leave. So that's what we did, and that was better. But there was still this stagnant energy. Like, also, if your business is not running well, and like what I said, if people are unemployed in the house, if there are a lot of fights, a lot of people moving in and out, so nobody can really settle. So these are all signs. So, and then like I told you last time, I called this a guy who did earth acupuncture, and he did something and it was still not okay. And then he also removed a curse. That's something that can be there from whatever, if there has been a war or something. and it needs to be lifted that the place or the energy can just flow freely again.
So that was acupuncture. He did earth acupuncture. Is that right? Yeah.
Like he did it mentally, like in a shamanic journey. He just went there, and you, like, it's as if you would mentally scan the whole place and find the worst point in the property. And often there are also indicators on the property, like for example, if there is negative energy on the property, then usually it's where the trees die or where there's a lot of ivy. Usually this is an indicator. So if you talk to a geomancer, then they will always tell you that there are plants that are more attracted to positive energy, and then there are plants that are attracted more to negative energy. And depending on which it is, there are indicators on like what energy is around. So
interesting about ivy. Okay.
So ivy is one indicator, and there are many more. And so then if there is a tree, for example, that died down, and then this is probably okay, the tree couldn't live there, so this is probably the worst point in the property. And this is where you mentally put a metal stake or needle just to puncture the earth, or
so disperse it.
And then it's exactly like what you do with acupuncture or acupressure with your own body. You just put a needle in, and then the meridians get freed up so the energy can flow again.
So the energy is dispersed.
Exactly. So it's basically the exact same thing you're doing. And then he also removed a curse, and since then it's really good also. Like I also help a lot of friends with their house cleansing. And it's also interesting. For example, I have a friend, she inherited the house from her grandfather, and she said she cannot sell the house. So she had a person come that did some energetic work, but it didn't resolve anything. She paid a lot of money and nothing was changed. Right. And then I went into the house, and I could feel the energy that was really almost dragging me down in the lower floor. And when we were further up where her grandfather's office was, all the lights were flickering. And that's also
about electricity as well.
And they play with electricity. And so there was a ghost that she could talk to. And then she did some cleansing with sage, and that's a good hint now, because this is that attracts good spirits, but it doesn't necessarily cleanse if it goes deeper. So what we did, because there was a lot of fight in the house, like we did the sandalwood in all the corners, that all the old sword forms get destroyed. And then she said, well, it's still not good, the energy is too heavy, I don't know what to do. So what we did is we put eggs in every corner.
For that.
We did that. I did that here also, in every corner, eggs. And if it's really infested with ghosts, then what you can do is additionally you can put some sulfur on top of the egg. But then it's like a clean slate, because you almost like send away the good and the bad ghosts or energy or whatever, because it's like a clean slate. But sometimes it's necessary, because sometimes there's so much going on, then
so the eggs, sorry, just going back to that because I interrupted you. So we put eggs in every single corner of the house, right? Okay.
I think she bought a whole farm of eggs or something. I don't know. She bought really a lot of eggs.
And you leave them overnight, or how long do we leave them for?
Usually, like, I leave them for a week.
Okay, a week.
And what was really interesting, she called me at 3 p.m. and said, in the whole house, her mom called her and she said, are you downstairs? And she's like, no. And she's like, somebody's talking, the whole house is whispering. And she could even hear it through the phone.
Oh,
and then I also told her to make photos before and after. And you could see in the reflection of a window, you could see like a old person, like always from the Middle Ages, with this I don't know how to say this, around the collar. This
The rough. Yeah.
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 You saw it in the picture.
Yeah.
And so
like
things
the Blackadder kind of, yeah.
So a person like that showed up. And so then we did this with the sulfur and the eggs, and now it's really, she says, if she now walks into the lower flat, then in the basement, then the energy is completely different. It's much lighter and whatever. And this is also what happened here. It looks brighter, it feels lighter. Yeah, you feel a change of energy. You feel it's completely different. You don't feel so tired, you don't feel so repelled. It's completely
relaxed. Yeah. So with the eggs, because I've heard before, and I've done this myself, we take, is this right? We take the eggs and we go to a crossroads. We don't leave them there, and we go off in the opposite direction. Is that what you did?
That was the funniest thing, because she called me and she's like, so we were digging a hole at the crossroads. We put the eggs in and we turned away and we didn't look back. And I'm like, yeah, correct. And she's like, yeah, but the problem is we forgot I think they forgot the knife from her grandfather.
Oh, something. Wow.
Or from his grandfather. I don't know. I think from his grandfather.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They forgot something else or something. And she's like, we cannot go back, can we? I'm like, I wouldn't recommend this, because you attract the whole negativity that you just buried. You attract it back. And she's like, okay, I guess we just have to leave it there. Probably it was for the better or for the best.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
So yeah.
So the knife was there to dissolve the energy, and then for somebody else to find maybe and work with with positive energy. So to recap, with ghosts, with any kind of, when we feel goosebumps, when it gets very cold, this is a really gentle way of doing it, isn't it? We just light a candle and make sure, obviously, it's safe. And we say, you have until such a time to leave. Just going through, just to recap. So that's one of them. And then, so with smudging, everybody uses sage. That's the whole, the in thing to use sage, but it's got different qualities. So yes, it's beautiful to use sage, but it's not sage fixes all. So be really mindful of what's going on in the house and feel. The sulfur and the eggs. So the eggs, we're really lucky because we have a lady across the road who has chickens on an organic orchard. So the chickens run free and they eat organic vegetables. Anyway, and any eggs will do. Obviously, just please, this is just me saying this, please choose kind eggs if you can. So they go in all corners of the house. All corners of the house.
That's quite a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. So take your shopping bags with you. And then once that's been a week, then collect all the eggs, probably just in a bag, and for example, one of the places where I've left eggs before, there was a bin there, so I was like, thank you, universe. I just put them in the bin and went away. But is it better just to bury them, or can they be put in a bin and left away?
I also put it in a bin. Yeah. You don't have to bury it.
No. So just dispose of them and make sure your head is straight. Don't look back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you have a sick person in the house, it's also good to burn like rosemary or something to lift the spirits, because it's a sun herb. So it definitely lifts the spirit.
Gorgeous. And music as well. I mean, I was speaking to who we both know very well, who are our teachers, Foster Perry and Crystal C. Perry, the other day, and we were talking about the frequency of music and sound healing. That's also really important, isn't it, would you say, in the house?
Definitely. That's also something you can do to clear it and report it. Yeah. And I wanted to share another story that was really interesting to me. So, like, for example, the old lady, so the house where my parents lived, it was like that there were several siblings living around before in different houses. And then they all died and all the houses got sold. And when they were old. So, and the last one who was still there was an old man. He died because he fell off a tractor and got dragged behind the tractor. And my mom got to know him when she moved there. And then 22 years later, somehow they said that, or the woman who lived in this house now, she said, there's always a ghost there. And then my mom said, oh, can you please describe the ghost? And she's like, yeah, he's dragging his one leg and he's like hunched over and an old man, and exactly like how he walked and how he, what he looked like. And then a couple of weeks later, my sister and her boyfriend, they woke up at night because a ghost was all of a sudden in her room, which is the house next door, right?
Okay.
So, and then she called me frantically. So this is also something you can do if there is a ghost in your house. Okay. You can put salt on all the window sills and also the doorways so that they cannot enter. It's like a barrier, the salt. And this is also something you can do around your whole house.
Yes.
As a protection together with rue,
yes. Rue, that's correct.
So you just dry it and crunch it, and then you put it around the whole property as a protection wall once a year. And you can say, please protect this house so no evil spirits or whatever can come in.
This is a great one.
Yeah. So I told her, don't be afraid, I'm coming home soon. Just put the salt on the window sills for now. I'm gonna talk to him when I'm home. So when I got back home, my sister, my mother and I, we sat there and I'm like, okay, let's talk to him and ask him why he's still here, why he cannot leave. And he said that there is still so much that was unresolved, and all his other siblings died. He was the last to die and nothing got resolved. So what we did, my mother and I, we did a family constellation. It took like 3 hours. And until we let we put for every of the siblings one person.
Or we constellation with the spirits. That's amazing.
So because all of them had died already, all of them. So we just took their places and in turns and just let them all talk. And there was like one case with a child that was out of wedlock and whatever, and then some rape, and so a lot of stories that were unresolved that the family just wanted to release or whatever. And it was really interesting. And then what was the most fascinating to me was the finish or the finale. We were almost done. And then there was this one lady, I think that was the woman who lived in our house.
Right.
And she was still there when we got there as a ghost, because when we started to live in this house, like you always heard someone going up the stairs, also no one was there, or like the doors closing and things like that, so you could hear all this creaking around everywhere. So and then she was there, and this family was very Catholic, and so my mom tried to explain to her from her perspective, oh, there is no sin, there is no sin, and you're forgiven, and don't worry, and whatever. And I'm like, Mom, this doesn't work like this. It because she cannot believe you. Like, that's what I told her. And then my brother came in, and I'm like, Leonard, can you please be a priest for a second? And just say to her, like, I forgive all of your sins. Please pray your Pater Noster or whatever, and you're forgiven. Because she's stuck in this reality that there is sin and she's sinful and she needs to be absolved or something. And you cannot come here with your modern day thesis of there is no sin, and
you have to connect on this perspective,
because they're stuck on
their mind. They're stuck
on the involvement level where they were at when they died. So that's why you cannot expect her to make this jump and to get this. And this worked really, really well. So she was like, oh yeah, okay. And then I'm like, Leonard, just get also some holy water and sprinkle it over her. And she was like so grateful, and well, all went well, and she left. So, but that was also something that I realized at this moment. You cannot talk to them at any level, you have to talk to them at their level.
The level they understand. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking very matter-of-factly about ghosts.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you're chatting to them as if, you know, that, well, they are next to you. So when did your affinity with this start? Was it from a very young age, or?
Well, the thing was, my mom used to read to me the book, The Little Witch, when I was little. You know this book?
I don't, but I love the idea of your mother reading a book called The Little Witch to you.
Yeah, so it was a little witch, and she was only 100 some years old, and the others were already 500 years old, so she was considered young.
Yes.
And every witch was allowed to go to the Blocksberg except for her, because she was too young. So they told her that she has to know all the spells by heart, and she had this raven who was called Abrasax or Abraxas, like the Gnostic god, and he could talk. So he would always give her advice, and she was living in this little hood in a hut in the village, in the forest, and so somehow she wanted to be part of this festivities at the Blocksberg, so at the Brocken, at the Harz Mountain. So she just went there and whatever. And of course, they discovered that she went there and whatever. And then she wasn't allowed to fly with her broom anymore. And she had to walk all the way back from the mountain to her hut. And so it's just funny. And all her mishaps when she tries to do some spells and whatever. So I read this book, and at night,
Adventures.
at night, I woke up, and next to me was a ghost of a witch on a broom next to me.
Wow.
I was scared shitless.
Well, yeah, this is the. How old were you?
I don't remember. I don't know, maybe something between 6 and 12 or something. I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was scared shitless. I was like really freaking out. And that's the problem. And that's what got me so passionate about teaching kids at school now, because I'm like, in Avalon, in Glastonbury, they used to teach kids from 6 to 12 or 16, whatever. They taught them about herbs. They taught them about the visions and whatever, and how to deal with them. And I was never taught how to deal with my visions and whatever. I saw just that an accident would happen, and I'm like, this is just a curse. I see this, I cannot do anything about it, and I was really upset about it, so I shut it down.
It's a gift. Yeah.
So because I thought it's a curse and not a gift, and I'm like, what would I need it for, and things like that.
May I ask you something? You mentioned about Avalon. You're talking about centuries ago, or you're talking about Glastonbury Avalon, how it is now?
No, centuries ago, like way back then.
Yes.
And so that's what got me so passionate about teaching at school, because I'm like, I want to bring back the old ways to the schools, that they know about herbs. And also my sister, if she did the babysitting in Australia, whatever, and the kids were scared, we always told them, don't be afraid, and you can make a wall of protection. You can call the angels, that they are at every window and every door, that they protect you. You can surround yourself in a color of light or whatever, and that they would calm down, or do some heart breathing. So you can do so many techniques and teach the children and educate them from very early on, so that they're not afraid. Because the problem is, if you are scared, then the ghosts go away and they don't show up again. So I asked my teacher, I'm like, what shall I do? I don't see ghosts anymore. I feel that they're there. I know if it's a woman or a man. I can talk to them. I see the energy and the outline, and I know instantly, okay, it's a woman this age or whatever, and she's angry or whatever, sad or whatever. I see the auras, but since then I don't see them so obvious anymore, and that's really an issue, because then it's so much harder once you push it away to recall it. So that's why it's better not to send it away in the first place, because for children it's natural to see all these things, and then we tell them it's not normal, and there is no imaginary friend and whatever, and then all these abilities.
It's really beautiful, you and your sister doing that. Thank you. Because I didn't have that either. I had nobody to explain, and I've spoken about this before, but I had absolutely no one to explain anything that was going on. But I didn't talk to anybody about it either, because I thought, as you did, I thought, well, what's this? You know, nobody has spoken to me about this. Why am I seeing half a man in my room, and I'm really scared, and the duvet's going over my head, so I never have to see that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. I hugely value what you're doing. That's wonderful. And I wish that we could have a world where that's the norm.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really do.
We
Because
can just do our part by
yeah,
just educating the people and the children that we meet along the way.
yeah, absolutely. And children are, because we're changing so much and going so much towards the, you know, the divine feminine, more and more children, we all know this, whichever, you know, we're on the different waves of generations, they're so much more sensitive coming through. So to have somebody like you instantly is wonderful, so they can really treasure their gifts. That's gorgeous. Thank you.
And it's really funny, like they almost like suck it in, all this knowledge. If I go to the school and I tell them that every stone, every animal, every human has a soul, every plant has a soul, then they're like, oh yes, because then there are more souls and more ghosts than humans. And I'm like, yeah, that's interesting, you got it. Yeah. And they're so smart about it. And also you can really see if they do the smudging, if they smudge themselves or if they smudge the whole school or whatever. You can really see that some people have an innate ability to see where there's something in the aura and whatever, and they really take it out, or they go a little bit more over it with the sage or whatever. So there are also some kids that are more naturally gifted, and others they are they are just doing it because everyone is doing it. So
yeah, but that's a wonderful thing to just do because everyone's doing it. I think that's fabulous. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm going to put all your details down. So if you would like to follow Susanne, if you would like to get in touch, you're currently writing another book. So put all the details down if you'd like to follow Susanne, because you also do house clearing remotely, don't you? You don't have to be there. Yeah.
No, I just sometimes give some instructions to the people what they have to do themselves, like with the sage or whatever, but you can do it and support it also over the phone. That's also what I'm doing, even when I'm here with my friends, what I told you about the house.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, and it's just so important, and as difficult as I say, don't be scared, just get yourself into a relaxed space. You know, Suzanne's already said about the heart breathing. Put some gentle music on first that relaxes you and relaxes the atmosphere if you're feeling a bit tense. And just, it's about acceptance as well. It's about accepting that we're not the only ones here. There's different layers going on all around us, isn't there?
Yeah, just another dimension. So
yeah. Is there anything else you would like to say to conclude? Anything that comes to mind? No? Okay. Well, thank you very, very much again for coming back. And well, again, thank you for everything that you do in the world. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As I said, I will share all of Suzanne's details. I really hope this has inspired you. Please share, like, and subscribe. And hopefully we can reach many, many people and help many, many people as we are here to serve. So much love. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.